Nigeria's 2025 Tax Reform Acts explained. What you need to know. Welcome back to Discovery Learning Hub. Today, we're breaking down one of the most significant policy changes in Nigeria's recent history. The 2025 Tax Reform Acts recently signed into law by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. What do these laws mean for you, businesses, and the economy? Let's find out. What happened? In June 2025, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu signed a landmark package of tax reform legislation into law. These are 4 separate acts that together overhaul Nigeria's tax system for the first time in decades. The 4 acts are Nigeria Tax Act 2025, Nigeria Tax Administration Act 2025, Nigeria Revenue Service Establishment Act 2025, Joint Revenue Board Establishment Act 2025. These laws are designed to streamline tax codes, boost revenue collection, modernize compliance, and broaden the tax base. Key changes you should know. Simplified and modern tax system. The new act replaces and consolidates many old tax laws into one modern framework, including corporate tax, personal income tax, VAT, and more. Businesses. Small businesses with turnover below a set threshold are now fully exempt from company tax. A 4% unified development levy now applies to medium and large companies, replacing multiple old levies. Large corporations and multinationals face a minimum effective tax rate, aimed at reducing tax avoidance. Individuals. More progressive personal income tax bans. Some low-income earners now exempt. Worldwide income may be taxable depending on residency status. VAT and stamp duties. VAT stays at 7.5%, with essential items like food, medicine, transport now zero-rated. Stamp duty reclassified to reduce unfair burdens on consumers. Digital tax IDs. Starting January 1, 2026, tax identification numbers, tax IDs, will be mandatory for many financial and business activities to improve compliance. Implementation and timing. The new tax laws were signed in June 2025 and officially take effect from January 1, 2026. Despite public calls for a delay, President Tinubu said implementation will proceed as planned, describing the reforms as a once-in-a-generation opportunity to modernize Nigeria's fiscal framework. Controversies and public reaction. There have been controversies surrounding the authenticity of the versions of the law available to the public, with claims that the gazetted laws differ from what the National Assembly approved. In response, the House of Representatives released the certified true copies of all 4 acts to assure Nigerians of the law's legitimacy. Some critics and political groups worry the reforms could increase burdens on ordinary citizens and argue the changes were not well communicated before implementation. What does this mean for you? For individuals, you may see changes in how your income, digital profits, and financial activities are taxed. For businesses, compliance will now be more standardized, with digital reporting and unified levies aimed at reducing complexity. For the economy, the reforms aim to reduce Nigeria's reliance on oil revenue and boost tax revenue to strengthen public services. Conclusion. So there you have it, Nigeria's new 2025 Tax Reform Acts. Why they were introduced, what they contain, and how they could impact you. If this video helped you understand these changes better, hit like, share with your friends, and subscribe to Discovery Learning Hub for more clear analysis. Drop a comment if you will like a breakdown of how these reforms will affect your taxes directly.